welcome to the CrackOn podcast, hosted by me, John Saunders. Crack on! Hey guys, hope you're well. So another week, another edition of the CrackOn podcast, hosted by myself, John Saunders. So this week, with great pleasure, to bring such an inspirational lady, Shekira Johnson, the award-winning entrepreneur, founder, and creator of Turned Up Fitness. Yeah, really enjoyed recording it. I'm donning my sportswear on purpose, just to really show. She made me feel like literally energized afterwards. I hope you enjoy it. Enjoy and crack on. Good morning, Shekira. How are you?
Morning. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, yeah, really well. Thanks, really well. Thanks for taking the time out. Again, I know you're busy.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Right, let's get cracking straight into it. So what does crack on mean to you?
Please don't take this as an insult. I
won't.
But crack on to me, I'm from the Dock, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but we're quite urban and straight to the point. And for me, if someone said, oh, crack on, I would take it as like, oh, crack on, as if like, go on then.
Yeah, let's have a go. That's it.
Yeah, I get like the crack on and get on with it, but for me it's more crack on, like go on then.
Let's have a piece of me.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go through that in a bit as well. I'm really interested in your background and where where you came from, the Docks and that humble background you've got. And but what about going to the second question then? So that's really interesting about the crack on, was I said to you, a lot of people would say that it is about getting on with it and all that, but actually it's got other meanings, which is great. And I think that's amazing. But I really do mean the crack on, let's get on with it. I don't want to fight you, right?
No, okay, no fighting.
Yeah. I'm not fighting. It's Monday morning. I don't want to do any of that. So second one then, idol. Have you got anyone you look up to, anyone that you really, idolize or you aspire to?
I've got quite a few, to be honest. So I think there's three main people who inspire me.
Yeah.
The first one has to be, wait for it, Jennifer Lopez. I think she's probably, a lot of women would look up to her, but I'll never forget when I was a teenager, I was going through a bit of a rough patch. I'd lost my direction. I was living for the weekends, partying a lot. And I'd lost my direction and I wanted a change. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. I had this niggly feeling inside of me that I could be doing something better.
Yeah.
Now, I'm fascinated with JLo. She looked beautiful. Her job looked amazing. Her work ethic was inspiring. And I literally woke up on a Tuesday morning after my weekend out. And I was like, I have to change. So I contacted the careers path and I went to see her and I was like, how does Jennifer Lopez get to be in movies and music videos? What did she do? And she laughed at me. I was like, I'm really serious. This is what I want to do. This is the path I want to take. So she sat with me and we looked at dance schools. And luckily there was a dance school at Rubicon. And literally from that first, I auditioned for it. And from that first moment, I knew this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Brilliant.
So Jennifer Lopez, and she still inspires me. She's like, her work ethic is amazing. And because I've been trained as a dancer and an actress, and I've worked as a professional actress, I know how hard it is to get a play or a show going. Yeah. So she's a massive inspiration. Another person who inspires me, and I'm sure would inspire a lot of other people. There was a massive turning point for me. I hit rock bottom, and this is when I decided to throw myself into Turned Up Fitness, like all guns blazing. There was literally no going back. It was do or die. Yeah. But I was in bed one night, and I used to struggle with sleep because of my thoughts, always keeping me at night. Yeah. So I started to do some meditations, and I loved like the hypnosis ones, the ones that take you like deep down. And whilst I was sleeping one night, a meditation woke me up. His voice was amazing, and I was just like, I really tuned in and I was doing everything that he told me to do. And he started to say, create images and stuff in your mind of like what you truly want if a miracle was to happen to you. So I did it anyway. And then in the morning I woke up and I was like, whoa, that meditation, because I saved it on my playlist. I was like, that meditation was amazing. I've literally done it 3 times a day, every day for the last 4 years. And his name is Stuart Wilde, Creating Miracles in Your Life. He has an audiobook on YouTube. And after I've done the meditation, I'll always rewind it back to the story because it's just amazing. So he has no idea how much he's transformed my life, because what I didn't realize what I was doing was rewiring my brain. I didn't know I was doing that. I just liked his voice, and I liked.
But we're gonna. I tell you what, we're gonna get on like House on Fire, because actually part of a lot that I do at the moment is NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and it's to do with mind over matter and the unconscious mind. So I really get what you're saying, and I love what you're saying as well. That is awesome. I love that. I love that.
He's a massive inspiration. Yeah, he has no idea. But also, I'm really into reading books. I'm like a book guru. I love a good book, but I like to read books on personal development, success. I love successful people's autobiographies, and I love learning about nutrition and health. So, and usually the book that I'm reading, I'll go into depth. I'll want to listen to their audiobook. I'll research them on YouTube, and I apply all the lessons that I learned from the book. Like, I'm dyslexic as well, so I have to make notes with Post-its, and I put them. I literally got Post-its, like the Post-its printed all over. I like to make notes of the best parts, and I always take the lessons that I've learned, and that's how I built the business, to be honest, through the books and stuff that I read. But it's usually the person that I'm reading at the moment will inspire me. And I'll tell you who has been an inspiration for me at the minute. Tina Turner. I've never read her book before.
Love Tina Turner.
She's a ledge. But I just finished reading her book and it was amazing. It was about her story. It's a guide to happiness.
Right.
And she talked about a chant, and then she turned to Buddhism. So she told you all her story, and then she was like, again, she had a massive turning point. She was like, focus your mind, Tina. She knew what she wanted. She saw a packed stadium of 180,000 people, but she had to do a lot of inner work. She was like, for me, it was meditation that switched me, but for her, it was the chanting. So I've started chanting. I was like, I'm going to try this chant. So every morning.
Get on it. Let's start chanting.
Yeah, it's on YouTube and is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Oh, brilliant. So send that through to me. After this, send it through to me. I'd love that.
I'll send it through. No, but wait for it. It gets better. So it means you can get whatever you want. So literally every single day since I've been doing it for the last week, something like, oh my goodness, like something like magical has happened. Not like ridiculously transforming, but shall I tell you what happened?
Yeah. Look, give us all of it. So basically what you're saying as well, though, is that you're putting it out to the universe and the universe is coming back, huh? Yes. Love all that. Yeah, tell us what happened. Tell us more.
So the first day I did it, Donna Ali contacted me from the radio station. She was like, oh, Shekira, I'd love you to come on talk on the radio. And I was like, oh, okay, I'd love that too. Yeah. So I did. Then the next day you reached out to me.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
And my balcony was bogging. Like the windows were so dirty. And I was like, I have to get these windows clean. You know when something bothers you, but you just I got to get around to do it. So I asked my mum the one day, I was like, Mum, do you have a jet wash? I have to clean the windows. She's like, yeah, but I haven't got a hose. The next day, there was a guy outside with this big stick and the window things. And I was like, hey, could you please clean my windows? And he was like, yeah, sure. So now I have sparkly windows, but I think it's
yeah, do you know what? But that resonates so much with me as well, that we've got a little group, myself and a couple of guys. Have you ever read the Think and Grow Rich book?
Yes.
Yeah, so that one, we've got a little sort of hub that we just sort of meet every 2 weeks and talk it through. And when you talk and when you put it out, you know, and you talk it through with mates and friends that have got, you know, they've got to be like-minded, and so many things have happened that you just think, wait there, this is so bizarre. But when you put it out, I totally believe you put positive vibes out. I mean, you're such a positive person. You can see it, you can feel it. And I bet that, you know, where's that all come from then? Where's the positivity come from? Has that just been something you've had, or, you know, is it grown?
You know, I thought when I was younger, I was probably the life and soul of the party. I was funny.
Yeah.
I was motivated. I've always been quite ambitious, but I wasn't very kind to myself. I
Right.
struggled with confidence. I never thought I was good enough. I would talk myself out of everything. I struggled with an eating disorder since I was a teenager. I was bulimic.
Wow.
Like ridiculously a binge eater, and then I would turn binge eating instead of bulimic because I sucked up blood and I got ill. So I would switch the binge eating for obsessive exercise. So I wasn't, even though I might have looked bubbly and not confident, I struggled with my own self-confidence. But then when I started doing a lot of inner work, like I'm so strict with myself now that taking care of my mind has helped me be more positive. And I get days, like, to be honest, like just now before I come, I was like, oh, what if I start going what if I don't shut up, boys, you're gonna be amazing,
Like,
you're gonna
take that out there, take that out.
yeah.
But you know what? I think can I ask how young you were there at that point? Because that sounds like you know, I saw Freddie Flintoff come out and he's done that. Did the I thought that the documentary he did on bulimia was so hard hitting. I think we've all had, like, I've had a problem with my food in time as well. You know, where I just struggled to eat and I needed to work it out in order to have it. And you know, it did come from a young age when I suppose, you know, being quite open, when I was bullied at school because I was quite a big lad at school, you know. But how young was that sort of, and how did that come about? And how did you sort of work your way from that?
I was 14 when
Right.
it started. I used to overeat, but I'd go into a trance, and it was like I would eat so much that my ribs were hurt. But then it was a disgust, a shame, a guilt, waking up at 3 a.m. wanting to beat myself up. It was, and then starving myself all day, and then the cycle just kept repeating.
Yeah.
And if ever I was feeling low, I think a mood would have a lot to do with it, boredom.
Yeah.
And eating, but then obsessive exercise. But last year, even though I've always been pretty healthy, but most of the time I was a binge eater, it's a bit hard because food is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we all love it and we all need it. And actually nowadays it's even better now than it ever has been, isn't it?
So easy for you.
Yeah.
But last year I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and it really scared me because it just made me more mindful to take better care of my health. And I can't believe the difference on my sleep, on my productivity, on my self-confidence. There's no more guilt and shame, and I feel the best I've ever felt in my whole life.
Wow.
And I didn't realize.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So I've written a binge eating program, and now I've written a book about it because there's so much that I've learned through personal development and mentors, life coaches, and building the business, that I was like, I just have to share all of this. So I
want to get a bit more into that because the Crohn's bit. But interestingly enough, I interviewed Rob Starr, who's on and he's got Crohn's, and something that when he found out he got it, he actually said he lives on the south coast in Brighton, and he decided, because he got into swimming, and swimming's ended up really helping his body and really helping him to get through it. He said it's so good for him from a Crohn's point of view, but I could definitely hook you up. He's such a top guy from anything like that. But going from, how did you manage that sort of coming out of that? You know, you said you feel as good as you ever have done now. For the audience, how did you do that? You said about self-development. What steps did you take to do that?
That is a lot of work. It is a lot.
I bet. And I know it's easy to say, but it's that action, isn't it? You know, and and looking in the mirror and understanding that you've got those issues.
Yeah, it was quite scary, but you
I
know
bet.
what? I'm fine now, and it's fine. Like touch wood, I've managed it, I've controlled it.
Yeah.
Stress brings it on. I think with the pandemic, the business that I created was designed for women to be in the community and stuff. So all that turned upside down. I was moving house, and I think my body was overstressed, and I was trying to push myself to keep going rather than listening to my body and taking time out for myself, which I didn't do. Sorry, what was the question?
You know what? But whatever the question was, that self-help scenario you said, such a big thing in it. Like I said, you just said about looking in the mirror. I mean, from my point of view, I've had to look at myself in the mirror many a time. Steve Jobs says about, right, if you look at yourself in the mirror twice and you don't like what you see, you've got to change something. But actually, looking in the mirror with that mindset is hard, isn't it? And it's tough to tell yourself the truth, isn't it? You know, it's such a hard one. But I mean, for you, that must have been, you know, there must have been a moment. You spoke about a moment back that changed you. That moment you woke up after that one night on Tuesday, that sounded like quite a key time. Was that like the day that it all changed?
It was a massive change, but that was when I was young.
Right.
So that was when I was 18 years old. And then as I got older and I graduated from drama school, I was qualified to teach 22 different fitness programs. I got quite obsessed. I love group
22.
classes.
Talk us through them. What are they? Talk us through the 22. What are they?
Body attack, body pump, body balance, circuit spin, the Viper programs. There was hip workouts. God, I can't even think off the top of my head. There's loads.
But you just got fully into it then. You've got. I mean, we're coming to Turned Up in a minute because there's a few quotes on your website I love. I'm gonna talk through one of them in a bit. But talk us through. So you got yourself really into that world, and then what moved further into the fitness side of it? Is that where it took you?
Yeah, so while I was in between acting jobs, I was doing group classes, which I loved. But I got to the stage where sometimes I was doing 30 classes a week.
Yeah.
So I was, sometimes 8 classes a day going around all the gyms around South Wales. But then an opportunity came for me to go to work in Dubai. And I went out, but before that, I created Turned Up. So I was driving in the car and Rihanna Work come on the radio. And I was like, oh my God, I absolutely love this song.
Yeah.
How cool would it be to have a dance fitness class that like R&B and dancehall music? But once that idea planted, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so, I went to the studio with Leighton Wall, who is a dance choreographer, and we literally bounced off each other, and I loved it. And the routine come together so quickly. It was sassy, it was powerful, it was sexy, it was fun. And then I just worked relentlessly to put a workout together. And then when I launched it, 60 women turned up. The atmosphere was electric, and it was so much fun, and we were dripping in sweat. We burned like 900 calories. Wow. And it was so cool. And it became the highlight of our week. Like everybody looked forward to it. The gyms were contacting me to put it on the timetable. And it was like nothing that I'd ever seen on any of the timetables. Like people were traveling for miles to attend. There were queues for miles.
Brilliant.
It was electric. You'd think we were all on top of the pops and we were in Penarth Leisure Centre.
But that was, what did it feel like? That's been created by you. I know there's a proper community feel. When I looked into what you do, there's a proper community, isn't there? There's a proper, ladies, women, liberating, literally getting out there and doing it. I mean, the photos and the activity. I mean, I'm not sure if I could do any of those moves, man. I've got to be honest. I'd have a good go, but it's a real community you've built, isn't it? That must be really rewarding for you. I mean, for me, I look at it and think, fair play, well done on that.
For me, it's natural, like, because I'm from the docks, it's like a heart, like, I cannot walk down the street without saying hello to at least 20 people. Like the neighbours what's mine is yours. Like we could
Yeah.
share tea bags, milk. Like when we have parties, everybody comes together.
Yeah.
So for me and my family were always warm. They were giving. I had an amazing childhood with my brothers, my sisters, my aunties, my nans, my cousins. Like there's so much love in the community. It's just unreal. So I I'm like that in my classes because it's just me and the way I am.
Yeah.
And you know, your vibe attracts your tribe. It's like the most amazing women, and the girls, they take, like, the instructors, they've made it their own. And like I've turned up to the girls' classes, and I was instructor for years, and I've never seen anything like it. Like they'll give people certificates at the end of the classes. They bring food. Like it's just beautiful. It's so much love in a fitness class. Like it's expressive. There's passion. Everybody's welcome. It's so amazing.
But I love the community. The bit that you said about community. I mean, I've moved down to. I was down in Brighton. I'm back down in Cardiff now, and I've interviewed a lot of people. Obviously, a lot of my guys that people have been on this podcast are Welsh, and there's a real. I mean, I being selfish and being quite a very passionate Welshman, it's very community based, and I think that it is very much like that. I mean, I'm from Cwmbran, and Cwmbran, your neighbours are your friends, and everyone just comes together. I love all that. But I think that the docks, what was it like being brought up in the docks like that? I suppose, was it quite a tough environment to sort of bring up?
Personally, I don't think it was tough. It was different. When I took myself to dance school, I could see the difference in people. But no, it was, everybody's friendly, everyone's welcome. I mean, I had so much fun. Do I regret it? I don't regret it. I think if I hadn't gone through what I'd gone through while I was younger, I probably wouldn't have been the way I am now. But it was a community. And it still is. Like everybody.
Yeah. Do you know what? I totally agree. Part of our journey is our background and our upbringing and our living. And for me, I come from a humble sort of council estate back in Cwmbran. That I went, and everything I've got now is because of that reason. The journey that it's taken me on, and I would never take it back. And it sounds very similar to your story and your journey so far. Without that background and without that sort of those knockbacks and kickbacks that we've all had, you wouldn't be where you are. And I totally, I resonate with that. Definitely, I resonate with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so talk me through the turned up then. Talk me through a bit more about the actual business you got and the creation of it and where it's going and the next steps and how those are highs and lows during it, because obviously there has been highs and lows, I take it, during it.
God, yes. It's like
talk us through a few of them. Talk the audience through a few of the highs and lows.
The highs and the lows.
Because people see the highs, they don't realize there's so many lows. Because what we don't do very well as entrepreneurs and is advertise them very well, But there must have been lows during that time.
I'll go through the lows, then we can end on the high.
Yeah, do that. That'd be cracking.
It's expensive, and I think with people as well. I think when you are working with people, not everybody thinks the same. So I've had a lot of people betray me, like people who you trust.
Yeah.
That has been a big shock and big lesson. And I think maybe because I am so nice and I am so warm and it's that business savvy that I miss sometimes. Like I need to be a bit more not so airy fairy. I'm getting back.
Just out of interest, have you lost friends during, people that you thought that did have your back, haven't got your back?
Yeah, and it's hurtful, but it makes you stronger, so it's fine.
Yeah, as Goggins says, he says about callous in the mind, isn't it? And actually those harder times, that they actually callous the mind to you to be stronger going forward. But I found as well within that I didn't want to lose who I was, and I'm a nice guy. So I didn't want to be a ruthless guy. I didn't want to be someone different. I wanted to be someone that was actually honest, authentic, but actually it does callous you a bit, doesn't it? Because you've got to get burnt to learn from it, I suppose.
Yeah. The different systems and things, it's always a bit challenging, I guess.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot. Like, I mean,
What do
I've
you mean
some
by that? What do you mean by that?
for the website, like the Vimeos, packages, Ecamm, MailChimp, and now Active Campaign. I've just learned about ClickFunnels, email sequences. Yeah.
All those balls we got to juggle, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. What other
And
ones?
what I've learned is sometimes this, because I have the instructors, which is that's kind of like that is the business model on its own. I've just written more programs, so that's the master trainers level 2 and level 3. So that is like another focus. I have the shop, so that is another focus, and I have an online platform, which is the Turned Up On Demand, and the binge eating program. So, but then what I've learned is sometimes like there's lots of niggly things that always need to get done, and being strict with myself and prioritizing like 3 of the most important things that's on my never-ending to-do list, because sometimes it's really
one of those post-it notes behind you. I can see one.
And they're literally
I'm joking.
They're all there. But it helps me because I'm developing Turned Up On Demand because of all my lessons and stuff that have helped me get more positive, build my confidence, and with the emotional eating and strength and conditioning yoga. So I've structured all of that in my post-its. But I need to start, so I'm really into micro goals. You do, a few things a week. So it's not so overwhelming of how much work you have to do. So pick just like 3 things that you can achieve this week, and that way you'll get there.
Yeah, and a lot of people talk about small steps, and rather than to get to the big goal or to get to the end, you've got to take those small steps. And I take it that's what it sounds like, those micro goals.
Yeah.
Do you use them every day? Do you set them every day, or do you set them? Did you say you set them weekly or daily?
Weekly. I set them weekly.
Okay.
Then the day I'm like, what's the 3 most important things that I need to get done today?
Right. Like, how does that work for you? How does that work for you? At the end of the day, do you tick them off, or do you mark them off, or?
Come off.
Yeah.
I
love it. Because you're gonna love this, but I've actually got a high performance planner, which is exactly that. It does three things, and I tick them off every night. So that's what I'm saying by the same sort of mindset and the same movement. And it's helped me no end.
You wouldn't get it done otherwise, I don't think.
No. I bet. So what else then? What other things have you learned going into sort of that business world? Because it's been, I take it, on your own, is it? Is Turned Up just you, or?
Yeah.
So it's all you. So you've got to do everything, the lock, stock, the smoking lot.
Oh yes, I literally 10 different hats. But I've read an amazing book, and it's called The E-Myth, and she's like the different parts of the different parts of the business.
The entrepreneur, the what is it called? It's the entrepreneur, the operations person, and then there's another one, isn't it? 3. Where do you sit then? Where do you sit?
All of them.
All of them, yeah. Every hat, chuck everyone on.
I do have amazing people around me.
Yeah.
I have a lot of good people, so I am very lucky. But
it's good.
One day,
we have got to have those people around and make it work. And have you got any other learnings from again for anyone? Let's say someone's looking to start up now. They've just come out of lockdown. They're listening to this. What sort of advice would you give them to they're just on day one, or they're looking to leave their role, or they're looking to do something new? What would your advice be for them?
Go for it. It will be the best thing they've ever did in their whole life. But really focus their mind.
Yeah.
Be disciplined. Take care of their mental health, like reading, meditations, whatever it is to keep your brain conditioned, and just go for it. And be brave and just follow your dream, because when you do, it's like the universe. I'm really into the law of attraction. People will come along to help you. Things will start to move in your way, but you just got to stay focused and just keep going daily, daily, daily. And before you know it, you're in so deep, there's actually no going back.
Yeah, you can't.
You're in, all in.
It's like the Matrix. You've taken the pill and you're in, and you know?
Yeah.
Going back out.
That's weird, because I was so excited when I turned up, and I couldn't wait to run my first instructor's training. I'll never forget. I was bursting with it. It felt like Christmas, because it was something that I wanted to do for so long.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're in over your head. You're like, sugar, what the, how the, what?
Where did all that come from? Yeah.
Come from.
I think that's good advice. So you mentioned about going for it. So what is the next what does it look like for you? What does the next few years look like for you? And what can you visualize? What have you got sort of planned? But what can you see?
I can just see millions of women happy, living their lives, communities everywhere, sweat, smiles. I just think every single woman on the planet deserves to feel powerful, sassy, sexy, not just a mum, not just an employee. Like, I think every woman on the planet needs some sparkle in their life. So I'm just on a mission to reach as many women as I can.
I love that. I'm going to do the hashtag sweat and sassy. I love that word. Sweat and sassy. Love it. So one of your quotes, let me just say one of them. So knowing what I wanted and not letting what I didn't want hold me back. I love that. I looked at you on your website. You've got that there. So, knowing what I wanted and not letting what I didn't want hold me back. Talk me through that. How does that resonate with you?
I had to let go of a lot when there was a turning point. I mean, I had to let go of friendships. I had to let go of relationships. I had to sacrifice a lot. I started this business with 5 pence. I had no money, no business background. I was dyslexic, but I was determined to see it through and make it happen. So I moved back in with my mum so I could fund the business. And so I had to sacrifice a lot, and it was just go for it.
Yeah, those sacrifices, though. I mean, how do you reflect on them, and how do you look back at them and think, well, do you see them in a positive way now? Where's your mindset with that?
Yeah, the thing with me, because I was a party girl, so I lived for the weekends. That was my life. So for me, sacrificing no nights out with my friends, no drinking. I mean, I watched my whole family go to Barbados for Christmas. I stayed home on my own because I wanted to build Turned Up On Demand so I could reach more women. So I sat there's sacrifices you have to take. Shopping, I love, now I can treat myself, but when I was first starting the business, I couldn't shop. I mean, I was unable to buy any makeup, clothes, all the things that I used to love buying when I was a teenager. I'd blow all my money in Karen Millen and I wouldn't care because I looked amazing. But finance, you just got to be disciplined, but then it's worth it.
I love that discipline. I also love the fact that you mentioned the sacrifices, because people don't see it. People don't understand it, People see the end result. People see Lionel Messi and these big old players, or, like I said, J-Lo, and they don't see the sacrifices they've all got to make. They see the easy part.
Yeah, sweat, money. Obviously, I'm dyslexic, so there's lots of things that I can't do. So I had to employ people to do it. I had a lot of freelancers.
Yeah.
And then send you the invoices, you're like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be that much money. And you're trying to juggle all your money to pay everyone, and then you're left with a tenner. You're like, okay.
Where's those invoices come from, you buggers? Yeah, I've been there.
Why do they want paying? Why don't they just help me?
I thought this was all about doing it for free, with that money thing come into it.
Yeah.
You're all about females, and like I said, I love what you said just a minute, just about the, every female should have that voice. And where do you think that is at the moment? There's obviously a lot of movement. I mean, I've been living in Brighton. It's even more escalated that, women need voices and women need, times within businesses. I mean, where do you feel we are as a society within that at the moment?
God, now you've thrown me.
Yeah. Sorry, that was what I was building up to. Sorry, I said I wouldn't throw anyone in. But
say that again.
Yeah. What I meant was, where do you think we are? Do you think are we going in the right direction really as a society with regards to where females stand within society? Because it's obviously, I look at let me give you an example, right? So I work in the leisure industry, yeah? And out of the GMs in my business, let's just use my company at the moment, there's 45 GMs, 2 women work as general managers, Now we're moving and the company's diversifying and working and growing. But where do you think, are we doing enough? And are we, where do you sit within it? Because obviously that's what your, Turned Up's all about, isn't it? Liberating women and giving them a voice and giving them the confidence to go forward. Where do you think we are?
It shocks me that not a lot of people use their true potential and do what they truly want. And I don't know why, but it just does.
So why don't you think people do though? Do you think what do you think it is about it? Is it the confidence? Do you think people don't just do it because they don't believe in themselves, or what do you think is the main reason?
I think I think it's because they're not doing their inner work, and when you start to go in, you start to get ideas to help you get out of what you want. That's what I learned. So I think by doing inner work would help a lot of people. But people are so busy. They get up, they go work, they go to the kids, they shop, and they don't have time to work on themselves instead of working on what everybody else tells them to do. But I think if more people went in, they'd find their true purpose, and then they can stand up for themselves.
Okay, I love that. But also it's about you can't give what you haven't got. Yeah. And if you haven't, what I found is that at certain times when I'm at my lowest, or I was at my lowest, I couldn't give anything to anyone because I was in a position where I just couldn't. But and then you've got to work on yourself, haven't you, in order to really be able to be positive for other people, to give more. Because I love, like I said, I love what you do, because what you do is you give people that confidence, and that I just think it's amazing. Like I said, that community you've got is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. But I think you're right with regards to the inner work. So what else are you doing on your inner work at the moment? You mentioned books. Is there anything else you're doing for yourself?
I do a lot. I'm selfish.
Give us a day in the life of. Come on. What do you do for yourself at the moment?
My morning routine is a big thing for me.
Okay.
And also my evening routine.
Because so give us it. What time are you up in the morning?
I wake up about 7:30.
Cool. Yeah, what do you do then? Talk us through your morning routine. I won't interrupt you. Go on.
I love it. It's the best. I actually want to go. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I pray. I like to pray as soon as I wake up. I have this little crystal that I keep on my bed, and it's literally been everywhere with me. It's like my gratitude rock. So I always like to just do my gratitude as soon as I wake up.
Love that.
And I have this other meditation which I really love, Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
And is on abundance. And this is another thing, I've been doing this one for years and years and years, and this was before I'd started Turned Up, or before I'd started it, but it wasn't how it was now. But it says on there, the friendships, they're so loving and so strong. And at that time, I didn't have what I've got now, but because I've visualized this so much, I flipping love all the people around me, so the meditation. And then I like a bulletproof coffee, so I make my bulletproof coffee.
Yeah. Is that black coffee, is it? Straight up?
No, it's got MCT oil and butter in. I love it. Right. Dave reinvented it.
Oh, nice. I love that. I'll have to get a recipe.
Yeah, makes you
good. Then what do you do? You said you have an evening routine as well. What's your evening routine?
I haven't finished my morning routine.
All right, okay, sorry.
I like to read a chapter of a book as well. Yeah. But in the meditation that I do, there's visualization. So I like to see where the business is going and stuff like that. So,
and the reading the chapter, is that audio, or do you read it on just out of the book?
I read it out of the book.
Right, okay. Because I'm an audio guy, see. I'm an Audible guy. I don't tend to, but I should do more sit down reading. But I'm auditory, so I tend to take more in my ears. So you do a chapter every day.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you done your chapter yet today?
I'm reading The Secret Experts, which is amazing, by the way.
Brilliant.
Russell Brunson is so good.
Oh my God! I tell you what, I have got my book here. I got a book that I started yesterday. High Habits.
Oh, I've not read that one.
Yeah, High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. I've only just done the first 3 pages, but it'll get me because I love it. I love it. So, and then anything else in the morning?
Workout.
Cool.
First thing in the morning.
Is that your own one? Do you do it on your own, or do you go to a group one?
I like doing strength training in the morning.
Okay.
Conditioning.
And then anything then after that?
Squats, lunges, push-ups, sit-ups. I like that.
Cracking. So that is that 7 days a week, or is that every day?
6 days a week.
Yeah, nice. So you give yourself at least a rest day.
Yeah, that kills me, by the way.
I bet it does, because it'll play with you, innit? But I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. I feel you on that. If I have a day off, I feel like as though I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything for my body.
Yeah, but it's actually really good because it's recovery, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. So then what happens then? Is that the morning done?
Nope. I get showered, dressed, moisturized, put my makeup on, put my lip gloss on, and then back on my to-do list.
Absolutely. You crack on. So the afternoon then's the to-do. And then what? Evening? Yeah. Then what happens in the evening? Talk us to the evening, because the evening one's quite an interesting one.
Literally, this was an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
Can't the 100,000,001 things, and my brain is noisy, but I've learned how to tame that now. So it's not as it is bad. It's like a chitter-chatter constantly. But the evening routine, I'm very disciplined now. I have to relax myself about 8 o'clock. So I'll have a hot bath, light some candles, put some magnesium salts in.
Yeah.
And I love this audio, binaural beats on YouTube. Right. It's so soothing, and it's got lovely instruments in it. So it's almost like my house turns into like a Zen house. Yeah. I got red lights, infrared light bulbs in the bedrooms. Right. So then I avoid the blue lighting because that affects sleep. And then, I'll just go to bed. But sometimes I like to do an Adriana stretch on YouTube before the hot bath.
Right.
She's got some really nice stuff. Only like a 15, 20 minute, just like wind down stretch. And then, my meditation to Stuart Wilde, and then I'm off.
They're nice. And then sleep-wise, how important is sleep to you?
Really important, because if I haven't slept, I'm not productive. I feel crap. You crave bad foods, like everything. So for me, the bedtime routine is a priority.
I love that. I love the morning. I love because I've been in obviously the late night industry for a long time, 20 odd years, and furlough's been, I've been very lucky, but it's also got me in a really good habits in the morning, and I love it. I love my morning routine, up, active, doing something. And by the time it's sort of 8, 9 o'clock, I've done so much, But I think the sleep bit is really interesting, because that's the bit that I've always cheated myself on. I've always done 6 hours, and I've been quite easy on that, but I've been pretty drilled on the 7+, and it's made a heck of a difference.
It is.
It's a heck of a difference. So let's move into the business side of it, because we're going to come to the final 3 questions in a minute. So what's next? What is next in Turned Up? What is, you talked about the online stuff and what is next? What's the next 12 months look like?
I'm developing the online platform. I want it to be the best that I can possibly make it. Right. So I'm emptying my boots with everything to equip women to just feel like they have the tools and strategies that they need whenever they need to bring out the best in themselves. and I've just put together 2 new programs, the level 2 and level 3. So I'm running those programs next weekend and then in a few weeks. The 21-day overcome binge eating program, because I can't believe how many years I've destroyed my mental health by all that self-sabotage. And I don't want other people to have to go through it. So developing that program, and I've written my book, so I'll be launching that soon as well.
Brilliant. And on those 3, because they're really fundamental, crucial. What you're doing is so impactful as well with people, helping people. I think it's amazing. I would do this at the end, but I think it's a nice one to do now. If people want to reach out to you, they listen to this, they go, right, I really want a piece of Shekira. She's got to be in my life. How would they contact you or get in touch?
Instagram @TurnedUpFitness.
Yeah. And what about and any other way? Is it more mainly Instagram? You've got a website as well?
I've got a website, yeah, I do. I'm like messaging everyone back all the time. www.turnedupfitness.com.
Brilliant. I love that. And what we're going to do now, we're going to do the last 3 questions then. So I'm fascinated by it. Right, so the last one. So in order to get into Shekira's world, what are the 3 non-negotiables?
My morning routine. No one can get in the way of that. I mean, I will not look at my phone. Like, they're my 2 hours that I strengthen my mind and my body, so then I can be the best I can be forever. So no one can interrupt my morning routine.
Yeah.
My bedtime routine now is really a priority. Another non-negotiable. My workout. I couldn't go without my workout, but there's another thing as well. Can I have 4?
You can have 4, but I was going to test you on another one, actually. I was going to say, what sort of traits do people have to come into your world? What have they got to have? So things like, trust, or, you've got to be able to come into Shekira's world, is there certain traits that you have? Because I can feel that the love part of it is big, friendly, ongoing. What have they got to be to come into your world?
Like me. Warm, passionate, loyal. I think loyalty is everything.
Yeah, loyal. I feel that I didn't want to put that word into your mouth, but I really, loyalty, what it comes across like a really key part to your world. It's all about being loyal. And if you're loyal to me, I'll bend over backwards for you.
Oh my God, yes. You have my skin, everything.
Absolutely. But you were going to say a 4th one. What was it?
Having a mentor and a life coach. Like, I cannot believe the difference in me mentally, and just helping me with strategies. So I have 2 mentors and I have a life coach.
Awesome. Do you want to mention them at all, or you don't need to?
So luckily, there was like a pull. I had to go to Business and Focus when I started this business, because I was just like, I have no business background. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I just had this idea and I need to share it. So I went to Business and Focus and they were fantastic. They gave me a mentor, Neil Hill, who is incredible.
Yeah. So, I know mutual friends. I know Neil really well.
He said.
Yeah, did he? Yeah. He's a top guy.
Yeah, he's incredible. So I've worked with him for 3 years, and now, because the business has gone digital, I have a digital marketing mentor.
Brilliant.
His name is John, and I have a life coach who is amazing. Her name is Heidi Johnson. So I see her on a Monday for 15 minutes. She just checks I'm on track, and then on a Friday, but things wavers. And
I love that because I'm going into coaching myself, and I love the fact that being so honest and that life coach scenario, I think, is so invaluable. Invaluable.
The life coach is the best because nobody else gets it, and they listen, and what I notice, she brings out, like, it's me that brings it out. So yeah, she doesn't ever give me the answers. The answers are always in me, but sometimes because of the chitter chatter, you don't always see it clearly. So yeah, I love it.
I really love that. I really love that. So the biggest life lesson so far. So the last but one question. The biggest life lesson so far for yourself.
Focus on your vision and your dream.
Yeah.
And to know that I'm good enough. That would be a lot.
Yeah. just leave it there. That's just awesome. I love that. And then let's say you were going back to a child like Shekira. What advice would you give that young Shekira right now?
Don't compare yourself to others.
Okay.
And don't let self-doubt creep in. Use your creative powers and know that you are good enough.
Yeah, brilliant. Again, I just love them as well. Another question now, would the young Shekira listen to you now?
I think she would have, because I was always ambitious. I was always hungry to learn. Okay. Like, I took myself off to London to dance and drama school and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was younger, I'd feel like I wasn't good enough, and I wouldn't go all out because I'd feel like, because when I was in dance school, it's very exposing, so you're always highlighted.
Yeah.
And then there were girls who'd been dancing since they were 3, so I'd think, oh, they're better than me, so I'll like hold back a bit. I wouldn't go all out, but yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you ever so much for your time. I wish you all the best. I don't need to wish you all good luck, because you don't need good luck, because it's going to happen. But I wish you all the best for the future, and I really appreciate your time today, and can't wait to put this out to the crowd. So thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day, and I'm going to say it, crack on, because you're a total crack on. You totally got the
amount. You start.
Sorry. I shouldn't say it. Take it back. Have a lovely day. Have a great one, Shekira, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
See you later. Loved it. I loved it. I loved being part of it. I loved talking to Shekira about all those things that she does and the insecurities and all those hard times she's been through. Just think all those resonate into a total crack on attitude. And that's what it's about for me. That's what I've done that's why I started the podcast. It was to listen to people's stories and listen to their point of view about how they view CrackOn. I love the fact that I won't say it too often to Shekira, because I know her background, CrackOn means something different, which again is such a, like I said, I really, really loved that one. That one was one of my favorite ones so far to run through, because I took so much from it as well. I hope you did too. If you did, like it, subscribe, comment, do everything you can just to support. But anyway, thanks ever so much, Shekira, for taking the time out. And here we go, another one next week, which is going to be Paul Lillycrap, everything to do with marketing. He's such a great guy. I can't wait to bring that to you. So yeah, that's next week. Anyway, have a great one. Crack on. Crack on.